Maybe. She's got her Christmas.
Well, would you believe this is just what I was waiting for? It really was actually. Then I was gonna change. I'm like, why?
I don't have any such thing.
It's Christmas.
Yeah, there you go. That's right.
Hi, Joe.
Hola.
Mayor, so your process, this is Travis, who being our attorney for tonight.
Thanks for stepping in tonight.
Of course. We'll see how helpful I may or
Like
may
I
not
told
be.
Dave, I told Dave, if I start going this way, don't never hesitate to.
No, we're okay.
Stop.
Sounds good. Yeah.
Stay all the way.
I did, no. And there was only one other, there was just Pastor Derek and his wife had their kids to have their pictures. So we were the last one.
That'd take quite a while. There was quite a while.
There was a long line, yeah, yeah, it was. It was a good event again.
That was very nice.
We got more.
Were you there?
We got more.
Oh, I was just gonna say.
We got more food this
Did
time
you
than
go?
we've.
Yeah, I
had
was
in
there.
the past too. That was kind of nice. Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. And then I drove past that. Oh, yeah, that was nice. And then I saw the video.
Yeah.
Or somebody was. putting
Yeah,
on.
and
Yeah,
Tim,
I'm
Tim
sure.
shows up in his shorts.
Yeah.
Like, really, Tim? We don't need you getting pneumonia.
Yeah, I saw that.
I tried to find him, but he had ran already after.
Oh, yeah.
runs and
No,
things, so.
he came up to me and I said, are you crazy? He said, you know I am.
Well, it was neat. They introduced Cassie and
Mhm.
Jenny
Right.
Mm-hmm.
and their
Yeah.
kids.
Yep.
I love the color. The vintagey kind of.
I'm telling Kate though, did you step in there? Walk in the door. Your jaw will hit the floor, what they've already done in there, the short time they've been in there.
Really?
Is that
Yes.
right?
If you haven't stopped in there, you need to stop in.
I have to go in there tomorrow.
Wait, where are we talking about?
The hardware store,
Oh,
that whole checkout area.
Oh.
It's,
Oh,
you will
right.
be amazed. I had to stop there and just, I went like that.
What? What's going on?
and they're open the whole time.
They are gonna stay open the entire time, yep. They're gonna slowly rehab it kind of aisle by aisle, by section by section.
There's a lot of stuff in there.
They seem up for the challenge, so.
That's good.
it's- But you have to stop in there because you will be blown away when you step in the door.
Really slow.
Hmm?
My computer's just opening
Oh.
really slow.
Yeah. I don't even know what this thing's doing here.
Yeah.
This thing's-
Mine's like, mine might work, mine might not work.
Well, I.
Well,
it's a second. He usually.
Oh, so they.
But in case.
It took all that time to.
This thing is, I'm sure,
Well, if-
I'm sure 90% of it's operator error.
I got it on there.
It's really admit
Well,
that.
I'm not very good at computers and I normally don't have any problems with this. So I think it is
Oh, I do
operator
that.
error in your case. Sorry.
Freely,
Sorry.
I will take that one
You
all
guys
day
got it in
long.
your packet earlier than.
Yeah.
we-
That's right.
The link. Call to order the meeting on Monday, December 15th, 2025 at 6 p.m. Please rise for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, please, Jenny.
Mayor Vogel,
Here.
Councilmembers Robinson,
Here.
Udvig. Here. Thomas.
Here.
Muehlbauer.
Here.
On to approval of the agenda. Do I have a motion to approve tonight's agenda?
I'll make that motion. Mayor.
Motion by Councilman Muehlbauer. Do I have a second?
I'll second this, Mayor.
Second by Councilman Udvig. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. On to the consent agenda. Do I have a motion to accept tonight's consent agenda?
I'll make that motion, Mayor.
Motion by Council Robinson. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Councilman Muehlbauer. Any discussion? Anybody want anything pulled or any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. On to meeting open to the public.
A little bit quieter than last meeting. So this is a post meeting from your meeting the last time where there was a lot of things said, which prompted me to come this evening on behalf of the parks. I am on part of the Park Commission, but sometimes in talking with people, and as you heard at your last meeting too, it was like, well, just cut the parks. Like, that's a solution. And that I heard that from people once in a while also. And I think there's a couple things that need to be said. One is that and maybe the community, if they're watching this, and it can help understand a little bit, and hopefully all you council people know too, that we, on the Park Commission, we follow this park system plan. Yes, it was adopted on July 18th, 2022, but we still use it to this day. Some of the data is a little bit, dated, but yet it's still important. And some of the things that I just wanted to bring up, if anyone can Google, look up the value of parks. But I wanted you to picture, when you think of a park, what do we think of in St. Francis here? Keeping it local. So you just think parks, and whatever comes to your mind now. And I think of right now in the winter over at the ice rink and during last winter, part of the parks. It's not just something to do. In that space comes together people playing broomball, people playing hockey, just pickup games. So not only are they being active and outside, they're not in front of their screens, young kids, even some older people, they're out interacting with each other. Benefit, one of the main benefits in an era in our community, in our world, where people are trying to be, I'm here, I'm right, you're wrong, separate. Park space brings people together. It closes some of that distance because they're playing together. Okay, so for adults, you play together. And young children, you see this happening on the playground. They'll learn, I need to wait in line to get on the playground. Over the hockey rink back to last year, and each year, people with disabilities, people in wheelchairs, most people with Down syndrome, they come together with all ages, even old people like me, and we play broomball together. Okay, this is what this space allows. Parks aren't just, there's more to them than just on a budget line. This is a sense of community. It's a safe place to go. We know, you can look up the data, where there are parks, there's less crime. Now, in the city of St. Francis, we're fortunate. Within 10 minutes of walking distance, most people in this city can get to some sort of park space, which is a positive thing. But I also want us to remember, in our park system, and there's data in here and that tells us that we are way on the lower end compared to comparable cities in what we do with parks. We have the school district providing our school activities and any park things. We don't do programming at all, zero, okay, which most all cities have some kind of programming with their park system. So we we're not elaborate at all. Okay, we are like bare bone park things. I've been with Park Commission things for over 20 years in Cambridge, Isani, Oak Grove. So the city of St. Francis is doing very well with a minimal amount. So that's a point. The other is the community wellness piece. So you can look up strengthening our heart, lower blood pressure, lower decreased depression, anxiety, lower ADHD signs, improved self-discipline, less screen time. So these are just things that are pretty general. Okay, they encourage people to control a specific part of our lives. We can choose to go for a walk. It doesn't cost anything. You don't have to join a gym, and you can do it pretty much any time of year because the pathways are clear. So it's more than just a budget item. The parks are a deep integral part of the community. Take the dog park. If you ever go over there, you hear people, oh, I didn't know you were from there. I didn't know you lived there. This is bringing people together. This is crime prevention. This is community connections. Look at I was only there a short time at the tree lighting. Yes, look at that. All the people that came on a cold night. Okay, they get to know, they see people. They're less likely to crab at them and complain about them when they know them or have had some kind of interaction. So this is part of what the parks do. Also the farmers market, I think of that when you walk through there when that's going on and you hear people, oh, I didn't know you had a business there. Oh, they're exchanging information. Okay, these are deeper things that you're not going to see that you don't see in your budget and that we often don't think of. So I just want to bring them forward to you all. Let's see, the social skills in kids engaging with kids of other abilities or differing abilities on a playground. So over at the main city park here, you see kids, families, grandparents, they're having a picnic, they're playing on the playground. So they learn to interact, maybe not in their main social circle at school, but outside of that, even in their community. So they're learning many things besides conserving some wild areas, improving property values, 8 to 20%, according to City Parks Alliance. So you have these benefits that, we have, that our total trail miles are 12. This was from the report. Average amongst our peers is 47.9. So we are not over the top at all, people, on what we are doing. Okay, that's and according to the report too, the annual budget per capita is the national average is 117 and we're $43. So we are not, I just want to bring that out into the public and a reminder for all of us. So thank you to all of you for the work you do, listening to us citizens. But the prevention that the parks can bring is something a city needs to, we need to look long-term, not just because the grass can't talk and that playground isn't going to talk. So we need to look at the bigger picture and think of those things as we get to the future. That brings people to St. Francis when they hear, oh, have you been on those trails? You see the kid going around town who's on an electric vehicle, that child would not be out in the fresh air if we didn't have the paved trails for them to ride on. The county helps us a lot, definitely, with their parks too. But their cooperation with them is also another really important thing St. Francis has done, and your continuation of doing that is critical. So thank you for all your work on that. If you ever want to see this park system, mine's getting a little beat up, but it's valuable. We look at it in discussion and helping with decision making. So thanks to Paul for leading us and the Jen that help us. So thank you all.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you, Barb. Hunter, do you want to break the ice now or later?
I was gonna wait till.
Okay, all right.
Sounds interesting.
Moving on to old business. 2025 code revisions, second reading. Jody?
Hi, Mayor and Council. This is the second reading of the 2025 code revisions. And basically, from the first meeting, we say staff identified the need to update the code, just general housekeeping, things we came upon. But in the first meeting, the first reading, which was on December 1st, it was approved. And basically, it's just housekeeping item. Front yard setbacks, rear yard setbacks, what the definition of a yard is and what a perimeter of a yard is. And the new cannabis that we had to add, the new cannabis ordinance, which was for the lower potency hemp edible wholesale and what district it fits in. We changed the term accessory structure to accessory building because it fit better in that section. And then added, and updated everything on the use chart. We also added, or changed, revised the landscape alterations, which was for the rural and the urban river management district. There was a setback that didn't match what we had already had in our local code. And so the plan was to update that, and that is in the packet. We updated the definition of daycare versus childcare, what we had intended for that to be, which is 500 feet from our childcare centers. And then we also updated the buildings, and so it was just general housekeeping. The driveway standards, we had to add a section in 1072-11, which required a permit because it was in a different section and that wasn't where the residents went to read about driveways. And so we added that to this. And then we updated the section 1082-09 for securities, the financial securities, and just updated it to what we actually are practicing, which is in the financial security in the form of a letter of credit versus the cash that we had required. And so today we are looking at a motion to approve the second reading of ordinance 352 for housekeeping amendments for divisions 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 of the zoning code. And then a motion to approve resolution 2025-61, allowing publication of ordinance 352 by summary.
Thank you, Jody.
Yeah.
Any questions for Jody?
No.
Seeing none, do I have a motion to approve ordinance 352, modifying divisions 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 of the zoning code?
I'll make that motion. Mayor.
Motion by Councilman Ludwig. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Second by Councilman Faunus. All those in favor signify by saying, or excuse me, ordinance. Yes, thank you. Roll call, please, Jenny.
Mayor Vogel,
Aye.
Councilmembers Mulebauer,
Aye.
Faunus,
Aye.
Udvig,
Aye.
Robinson,
Aye.
On to resolution 2025-61, authorizing summary publication of ordinance 352. Do I have a motion?
I'll make that motion, Mayor.
Motion by Councilman Robinson. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Councilman Mulebauer. This one can just go to a regular vote. So all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. On to new business. Item A, resolution para SFV pension transfer to the Rum River Fire District. Dave.
Mayor and Council, before you is a resolution to authorize the transfer of the fire department records, assets, and liabilities as it pertains to the Para SVF Volunteer Firefighter Fund. This is a requirement from Para to continue ownership with the fire district to ensure that we have no loss of service, pension credit, any of those things as we transfer over to the district January 1st. This resolution does not reduce or change firefighter benefits. It does not alter service credit for either active nor deferred members. And it does not create any new pension obligations. This is simply a procedural piece that Para requires for us to move forward. And the fire board will also have to reciprocate the receivership of the pension funds. With that, I can answer any questions you guys may have.
Questions?
I got nothing. Seems like it's pretty straightforward. Makes sense.
Amy?
Just one on this. The city used to, I don't know if they still do, put in $500 per firefighter. So that won't be happening anymore. The district will be doing whatever they decide. Correct. Is that correct? Okay.
And the district intends to continue that elective contribution.
Okay.
Anything else?
Not now.
Sir? Kevin?
Nothing, sir.
I don't have anything as well. So do I have a motion approving resolution 2025-60, opting to transfer records, assets and liabilities from the city of St. Francis Fire Department to the Rum River Fire District?
Make that motion, Mr. Mayor.
Motion by Councilman Mulebauer. Do I have a second?
I'll second, Mayor.
Second by Councilman Robinson. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Aye.
Passes 4-1. On to the fiscal agent agreement with the Rum River Fire District.
Mayor and council,
Okay.
I will run these next four through. So the first one is with the fiscal agent agreement. There are two pieces. The first is the resolution to entering into the agreement and signature authority. The second piece of this is the agreement. This is for the approved piece where the city of St. Francis will manage the financial services of the district and be responsible for aiding them in their budgets, their audits, and then moving forward throughout the year, all of their expenses and assets accounts. And I'm happy to answer any questions.
Kevin, any questions?
I have no questions, Mayor.
Sarah?
I didn't have any questions on this
Amy?
piece.
I just have one question. So I just want to make sure I understand the definition of a fiscal agent. You just explained it, but so really the district's money will still be in control of the city, basically. Darcy has the checkbook, so to speak.
Mayor and council, yes, however, all of her direction for payments and authorization will come from the district and from Chief Schmidt. So she will be overseeing the bills that are paid, the account, have access to all of those accounts. But as she is the employee of council now, she will be an employee through contract of the fire board with them, if that makes
Okay.
sense.
And then the St. Francis being the fiscal agent, I know it's said in here, but can you go over how long that will be? Will be the fiscal agent, I think, just for 2 years, I think it said, or did I not see that correctly?
No, Mayor and Council, I believe we set it for a initial 5-year term and then an automatic renewal with 5-year terms. So the district would need to let us know and give us that heads up because we would want to be responsible with them for the final audit, but it is for an initial 5 years.
I think we talked about this once before, and so that part cannot be changed without council approval and Bethel probably.
Correct. So so Bethel doesn't have any say in this agreement, but in order to change the terms of the fiscal agent agreement, it would have to go through city council on behalf of the city's actions, and then also the district's board would have to be in approval as well.
Okay, thank you.
Joe?
And just for clarification, the biggest financial piece that the city deals with budget every year.
Correct.
When we issue the money to the district. That's all I have.
I don't have anything on that. So do I have a motion to approve resolution 2025-62, entering into a fiscal agent agreement with the Rum River Fire District and granting signatory and authority?
I'll make that motion, Mr. Mayor.
Motion by Councilman Udvig. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Mulebauer. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. On to the shared space user agreement with the Rum River Fire District. Kate?
Mayor and council, so same actions. First, we have the resolution with the approvals, and then we also have the agreement for the shared space. This is the agreement in regards to who is responsible for what, the use of our premise. Being that the city is the owner of the building and we can't split the building or give them somehow separate access. This is the document that would set those terms in regards to how any future repairs are made, who's responsible for what actions within the building, and then the indemnifications and insurance that protect the city. So with that, I'm happy to answer any questions.
Sarah,
I didn't have any questions on.
Kevin,
No questions, Mayor.
Amy?
Maybe this is in the next section, but on page 107, it says that the terms for the rental agreement, and for lack of better words, it says that the term is 99 years.
Correct.
Can you explain that?
Actually, I may have Travis help with this one. So that we still have the ability to terminate. So it's an initial 99 years, but if they were to move out, we would do the same steps and go through the process of ending this agreement, and council would then be in a vote and the board would be in a vote. And I don't know if you want to add to that, Travis.
That's essentially correct. The term of 99 years, it's kind of a holdover. It's an anachronistic contracting principle to just, for the sake of having a term, since we can't put an indefinite term, lawyers will use a term that on its face maybe looks a little extreme at 99 years. But it's just meant to signify the intent that the agreement will continue to exist in perpetuity. The controlling mechanism would be, the joint powers agreement or other relationships rather than this document itself. So.
Okay, and then, sorry, I might be jumping around. I think on page 101, it says that either party can terminate the contract with notice and things. So where in this document does it say that if we choose to terminate it or they choose to terminate, what happens to the assets, the equipment in particular? Where does it say in here that we get the equipment back? I didn't see that, and maybe that's not the case.
Yep, Mayor and Council, so that was addressed in the joint powers agreement where we discussed the splitting of of those assets, and then in the JPA, we have the 5-year divorce clause, so at that point, we would be breaking all of that apart at the point in which that initial clause would be enacted.
Sorry.
Okay, that seems a little black hole-ish to me, to be honest, because sorry, I'm jumping ahead, but in looking at the assets that we are essentially donating to a third party, to a contractor, that's pretty scary. That's a pretty big list. And I noticed that there wasn't any estimated value on anything on that list. And the bottom part of the list was the equipment, the fire trucks. I mean, I know how much those cost. That's a lot. I mean, if you look at the whole list, I'm not good at estimating, but that's at least $3 million worth of city assets that the taxpayers paid for. And my concern is we're giving them to a subcontractor, a third party, with no way to get them back if things go awry. That makes me nervous.
Yep, and I'll refer over to Chief Schmidt in regards to the JPA language.
So if there was ever a dissolution of the district, and there is some case law in this in regards to Centennial Fire District a few years ago when Lino Lakes peeled off, right? We're not burdening ourselves with the cost to receive the equipment. Therefore, we're not going to burden the cost with the municipality to reacquire the equipment. And that's the way that it's kind of been structured out through our joint powers agreement. The ownership piece becomes a necessary mechanism because it pulls the liability and insurance responsibilities off of the city and places it with the district where it's most appropriate. The taxpayers are still going to bear the fruit of their purchases for supporting and facilitating and operating fire department. If the equipment's not going anywhere, it's not leaving either city, it's still going to be used for the intended use at the time that the taxpayers purchase. So it's more of that legal aspect of we become the owner and operator. We also assume all the liability, all of the maintenance, all of everything that comes with it. So that ownership piece makes that a little bit more seamless as well. But there's nothing in our joint powers agreement that would say it's ours, and if we dissolve, we're taking it with us. I don't know what we would do with it, right? So that all of that would be in a reverse fashion back to the city if there is ever a dissolution from either city, or as this grows into multiple cities, that's where you would work with the attorneys and parse out the equipment components of it.
Only thing I'd add to that too, though, I mean, it's not quite a true subcontract. It's not like it's a third-party subcontractor that doesn't, I mean, there's two people from St. Francis, there's two people from Bethel, so it's not like it's it's a contractor that's out of our purview. I mean, it's being basically ran by a combination of both cities. So it's not like we're gonna say, oh, we're gonna pull the whole fire district out, and we're gonna move it to Coon Rapids or whatever, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So.
I get it.
If we don't build a stadium, we're gonna move.
No stadiums, no. You got anything else, Amy?
I don't think I'm,
Okay, Joe?
Well, I called staff earlier and talked to Kate about some of the stuff too, and some of the similar things that Amy brought up. I was just wondering where it was in the agreement. She mentioned the JPA, so that makes sense. Not that I think that, you know, obviously you just want it in the contract if it's there. And then the other thing that I was curious about, and I think it's covered in there too, with the other situation that we have with somebody staying overnight, so to speak. If all that stuff's covered too in there, and there is some language in here that appears to cover that. And there is also language in there that if it needs to be added, that can be done by the attorney's approval, so I don't have any further questions.
I looked for the language about sleeping in there and for other purposes besides the reason that we have sleeping quarters there. I didn't find it. Is it on page, where
I
did
gotta
you find
it.
that?
Article 2 has some language that kind of
Is it on-
addresses it.
I wrote down page 110, subletting. Is it in that section?
No, that's what I thought too.
Okay,
Until I talk to somebody. Where is it? Is it this one? I think it's 106. 106?
oh, I'm on
One you mentioned to me earlier.
Yeah, Article 2. Yeah, the use, it's in the use section.
Okay.
And it says that permitted use, the district shall use the premises and common area for a fire station and administrative purposes, quote unquote, the permitted use, and for no other purpose unrelated to management and operation of a regional authority.
So, in other words, that says no sleeping, like how did
Well,
you
Kind
get
of says
to
it at
that?
the end of 2.2 here.
Okay,
The end of 2.2 reads, the district will not permit the district premises to be used for temporary or ongoing residential or private, commercial or business
There you
purposes.
go.
oh, perfect.
Even better. Yeah, that's better.
Thank you for finding that.
So I
Anybody-
covered my concerns.
Anybody else? Okay, so on to, do I have a resolution for the shared space user agreement with the Rum River Fire District, resolution 2025-63, entering into a shared space user agreement with the Rum River Fire District and granting signatory authority.
I'll make a motion to approve that, Mr. Mayor.
Motion by Councilman Muehlbauer. Do I have a second?
I'll second. Mayor.
Second by Councilman Udvig. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, same sign. 4-1. On to letter D, transfer and donation of equipment agreement. Kate?
Mayor and council, before you is the next step in this, which is regarding all of the equipment and the transfer and donation. There is only one truck that is not part of this, and that is a truck that was purchased with federal block grant. We will get that to you in one of the next meetings because we're not allowed to donate it due to the federal rules that are tied to that. So we will need to lease it to the district. But this covers all other equipment. With that, I'm happy to answer any questions.
Joe?
No questions. I would just say too, I mean, the donation thing kind of, I was like, that's kind of weird how you're doing it as a third party entity, but it's like you say, it makes sense. And without it, we couldn't continue. So it obviously makes sense to me with that. I don't have any questions.
Kevin?
No questions, sir.
Sarah?
No questions.
Amy?
Only in the fact that I wish that there was some sort of estimated value to these items. Because it is a big list. And I think that, I mean, we know how much we paid for things, and I'm not saying every little flashlight, you know, but the big items, the fire apparatus and the turnout gear. I think we could have put some sort of dollar figure on it, just to maybe even help us later, if we needed it. It just, we, as a city, donating taxpayer money, we've talked about this even, when other people have come for donations. It's a big number. It's a big number. I don't know what it is, but I just about had a heart attack when I saw the list. I mean, I know how much turnout gear costs. I know how much the fire trucks cost. I just about had a heart attack. And it's not something I'm comfortable with. And
As part of our acquiring of our insurance, we're getting assessed values of all of those major components that we're more than happy to share, so the city can retain a record of that. But that's
Okay.
one of the requirements as part of our insurance through the league, is that it has to have a value. So
exactly.
we can share that with
Exactly.
the city once all the insurance pieces are finalized.
Okay, and then speaking of insurance, I know the district has to cover their own insurance, have their own insurance, but us as landlords, I guess, in this case, is the building itself still covered under our umbrella policy of some kind in case there's a catastrophic event and the fire truck blows up and it blows up the building? There's still some insurance coverage for us.
Correct. So Mayor and Council, so we will, both the fire district and the city will be covered through LMC. So we'll have, it'll all be under the same umbrella, just part of it under a different name when it comes to their equipment. But all of that will still retain insurance through the city.
Is there anything on that list that doesn't depreciate in value as it's used over time?
Everything depreciates, and in regards to like the turnout gear, they're purely a consumable, and
Expired too.
they expire and they often don't make it to their expiration date. So I think insurance in regards to some of those pieces, we're not gonna see, but pretty much everything we have is either a consumable or has a depreciation schedule to it.
Any other questions? So do I have a motion for resolution 2025-64, approving the donation of property to the Rum River Fire District and granting signatory authority?
I make a motion, Mayor.
Motion by Councilman Robinson. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Councilman Mulebauer. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. Versus one. On to the employment transition and separation agreement. Kate?
Mayor and Council, this is the final piece of all of this, along with the JPA, where we're establishing the district takes over the employees. This is the transfer of the employees, the capital improvement funds, the public safety, how we'll handle the transfer of sick and vacation benefits. And I'm happy to answer any questions with that.
Sarah? Okay.
No question, sir.
Amy?
I just had a couple questions. So will the district employees have their own email address instead of using the St. Francis City email?
That is correct. We already have our domain name, so the fire department email domain name will change to rumriverfire.org.
Okay,
Can't use the .gov because fits into a pretty narrow lane. So we already have the domain name purchased. That will transfer over to all of our emails. We're going to continue to work with Metro INET as our IT vendor, so we won't lose any emails from the .gov accounts. They'll be able to merge all of those together. But we will have our own website, we'll have our own emails. The benefit of staying with Metro INET is now we don't have to purchase our own servers. They're allowing us to continue to use the city's servers, so there's pretty significant cost savings there, and they have a way of firewalling off, so it's not interfering with individual business aspects for either.
yeah, I'm sure there's some transfer time. Is that what, had written this down, but I didn't ask it earlier. Is that on the payment of claims today? Was that the Metro INET $17,685? I was gonna ask Darcy.
Yeah, without Darcy here, I don't want to misspeak
Okay.
what that payment was for, but I would encourage you to just give her a call or send her an email.
She's pretty quick too.
And then the employee manual that you have, I think you said that you just transferred over a whole lot of things. So does that mean we have to take a lot of the fire department language out of our employee manual?
Mayor and Council, so we aren't taking it out at this time because the district isn't fully launched while we're doing our housekeeping. So potentially some of the language will come out of our personnel policy next fall. I have had a conversation with shops as to whether or not we want to take the department out of the ordinances. However, we can also leave it in our ordinances. We just don't have an active department. So we might have some housekeeping in our personnel policy, but we'll wait till next fall to do that with our next packet.
Oh, and then we talked earlier about the shared services and the spaces, the shared spaces. And so, you know, all the employees that St. Francis had when they come on, they get vetted and everything. And so with the district having some access to, well, all the access up there, but some access to this part of the building, how do we know that they're gonna have the same vetting process for new employees or people transferring over? So because they will have, will the district employees have access to this part of the building?
Limited, so currently only captains and above have access to the city hall side, and that's part of that is because there's some administrative interaction that does happen at that level. Access to the city hall side has and will continue to be on an as-needed basis. As far as vetting our employees, we're not changing how we vet our employees, and it's probably more stringent than some other positions within the city. They're going to continue to have a criminal background check. They're going to continue to have drug and alcohol screening. They're going to continue to have Martin and McAllister psychological evaluations. So our standards, being a public safety provider, always tend to be a little bit higher than most other forms of employment, and that will not change moving forward into the district.
And all the employees that are transferring over, do they have to go through that vetting process to start with you? Or
They
is
have
it
already
just-
had them as part of their initial hiring process. So until or unless something changes in that regard where we have to react to something, we would and we will.
Anything else?
Nope.
Joe?
I have nothing.
I have nothing as well, so do I have a motion to approve resolution 2025-65, entering into an employment transition and separation agreement with the Rum River Fire District and granting signatory authority?
I'll make that motion, Mr. Mayor.
Motion by Councilman Mulebauer. Do I have a second?
I'll second, Mayor.
Second by Councilman Udvig. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Aye.
Or versus one. On to meeting open to the public. Hunter, welcome back.
Hi, guys. My name is Hunter Carlson. I reside at 2612 230th Court Northwest here in St. Francis. First off, I want to start off and give a special thanks to Chief Smith, Kate, and Jenny for all your hard work on getting us a step closer to the Snob Fire District. I'm really excited to see it happen. I hope I get to be one of the first people to get a shirt. I've missed it here. I've been off at college and I saw bits and pieces of all your guys' meetings, and I'm really proud of all you guys. I know you've had a lot of craziness going on and I saw a couple of it, but you guys got through it and you guys have made a lot of tough decisions. And I just want to thank you guys for serving us so well, all of you guys and all of the staff here. And I'm so glad to be back in St. Francis. And that's all I have.
Thank you, Hunter.
Of course.
Thank you.
I just,
Made us
I
wait
don't want,
for that?
yeah, I don't want to say child, because you're certainly not a child, but you're the poster child of civic involvement. I appreciate it, Hunter. So, thank you.
Oh, one last thing. Since I've been gone a bit, if you guys could do a little more in depth on your council member reports today, I'd really appreciate it, just so you could catch me up. So thank you.
Thank you, Hunter. On to reports. Kate?
Yes, Mayor Council, in your packet is the year-end administration report. I will just go over a couple of the highlights. On page 4, it identifies, all of the different administrative duties that take place with all of our departments and how we cross over. We didn't have any election responsibilities. We had 2 council changes this last year. Out of the big administrative projects with the Rum River Fire District, and then also the Highway 47 construction. And then we did, within the last year, open the City Hall Fire Station. And last February, we had roughly 800 people that walked through the building and got a tour of it and to enjoy our new space. On page 6, I highlight some of the accomplishments from council. We had our standard 24 meetings. We didn't have any special meetings and only 7 work session meetings, which seems a little low after the last couple of years. So we'll have to bump that up next year. So with that, we had our parks, facilities, and programming. So the Parks Commission met the 4 times. They have some work that was completed in Rum River Park. They continue to work on the ice rink and warming house, and then the farmers market and dog park We're a huge success yet again this year with numbers that continue to climb. On page 7, I just run through, we had 6 land use applications that came through, and we had the opening of Eagle Point at Vista Prairie. And we have slowly but surely the residents going in there, and I believe by now they should also have their memory care occupancy. So they continue to grow in that facility and welcome both residents that were from St. Francis and senior population that is coming into our community to be new members. For human resources, we have over 20 employees with 10 years. And then I've listed out both the 15 to 19 and the 20+ years. We've got a great number of long-term employees and hope to continue to see that stabilization stay in place. There were no retirements this year, and we did have the Life Savings Award. Our personnel committee did meet, and they continue to look at ideas that are a good fit for the St. Francis employees and make just general kind of thoughts and processes come to life and what would be a good piece to keep the longevity and keep our employees here. Our finance department, all of our financial documents are online. If you haven't seen those, you can see our budget in the past. They go all the way back to 2012, some of them. Our long-term financial plan that we continue to work forward, our capital improvement, our annual budgets. One big thing that Darcy's working on right now is due to the new federal tax laws. With the timesheet and payroll system, we're having to figure out how to deal with the no tax on overtime. That is a very complicated issue when it comes to our payroll system. Looking forward, we're continuing to work on our cybersecurity. We will continue to wrap up pieces with the fire district. And next year, we look forward to working with the police department and the K-9 unit. The Highway 47 project continues to move forward. We should see the state taking that over within the next month or so. The Highway 47 utility project, we will continue to request funds for that. We're working on our new website page. We should hopefully see that very soon, and that's not in the report. And then we'll watch the legislation and local government meetings. That is a summary of what we did as council this year and administration. And with that, we move to 2026. Yep.
Any questions?
Yes, I'm curious why I see GTP down here in the lower corner of some of these pages. I'm only joking. No, very fine job by you and all your staff. It's, I feel we did a good job this year. The 7 work sessions were really a big deal. We could do 1 a month for that, if that's what it takes. But appreciate all you do and all the staff that you guide through this, what we do, and I'm glad to be here.
Sarah?
I echo what Kevin says. I appreciate your leadership and walking us through the tough things that we have to try to understand and putting up with our questions that probably seem kind of boneheaded sometimes. So I appreciate you much.
Sarah, Amy?
Just that I am excited about the 47 project. Is this our council reports or is this just
No,
responding to Kate?
just,
Okay. I guess it's the same, but
Yeah.
I'm excited about the 47 project for this year. I think we just really need that. And I'd like to know more about the personnel committee group.
Sure.
Department, I forgot what.
Committee,
it's called.
yep.
Committee. I'd like to know more about that. I hadn't really heard about that. So sometime in the future, I'd like to know more about that.
Sure. And Mayor and Council, so we've had that in place 3 years now? Oh, 3?
Yeah.
Yeah, 3 years. And what it is just a couple people from each department that get together a minimum of 2 times in the year, and they sit down and they've talked about everything from, they'll look at our benefits against other cities. They've looked at ideas that bring staff together. We've talked about gardens. We've talked about just kind of activities. So it's just a holistic look outside of the policymakers. There's no department heads. I'm not in there. And it's just the staff really coming together and going, what's working, what's not, what can we do to engage? So it's just a very holistic employee approach to making it a better workplace.
Thank you.
And do they, just out of curiosity, so when they come back with their findings or report, whatever you want to call it, do they report to you then with it or?
Yep, so Mayor Council, they'll sit down with Jenny and I, and we'll answer any questions that may have to do with personnel policy or how a benefit works. So we could walk through them, and then there's times where they'll go get more information, and so it's a back and forth to really see what's a fit and what's not.
Anything else?
No.
Joel?
Just thank you. Thanks, staff. Appreciate your leadership. You always answer when I call or call me back, and every staff member does, or email with questions. So I appreciate all your hard work and keep it.
I'll just close it with thank you as well. So on to council member reports, Joe.
All right. I don't want to get too in-depth, Hunter. I don't know if you heard my accountability speech a while back when I was on Zoom. I can email that to you if you really want to hear it.
Oh, God.
It's also in the minutes.
Yeah, it's online too. With that being said, I'll transition to accountability myself from, last meeting. I looked very ignorant myself in two separate situations. I was aware that we were voting, that night. It skipped me in the moment, on the budget, which I'm sure a lot of people in the audience, were saying this idiot doesn't even know what he's voting on tonight. I know because I've been there and I've been in the audience saying the same thing to people. So do understand where you're coming from if you do feel that way, but I can take accountability for my own ignorance there. I know I'm spacing out on what the other thing was, but either way, I apologize for that. I've reached out to staff. I know Darcy was working on it with me too, to kind of get more of a breakdown of the budget. I don't know what we're going to be able to find out, but from department heads and whatnot, as far as, we can see different categories and what different departments do. We already have the budget, but some of it's kind of vague. So we'll see what happens with that. Some of the ideas that I was looking up different ways that a city can save money, and whether or not these are going to work or not, these are just things thrown at the wall. We'll see what sticks, I guess, but ideas like leasing the 40 acres off Roanoke. And this next one I'm not in favor of, but it is an option. And I don't like the idea of even saying it, but cutting public events such as the bike rodeos, pancake breakfasts, Citizens Academy, Farmers Market, things like that. Again, I'm not a fan of that and I wouldn't support that, but that is something that's on there. I was looking into sales tax, possibly instead of raising property tax, but it appears that may or may not have to be connected to a project. And I'm not that educated on it yet, so I won't say that for sure. Growth of business and residential business is still the best option. Business doesn't typically come until the population can support it. The city does not bring in business per se. Businesses seek out location, does studies on whether the location is worth exploring, traffic studies, etc. Excuse me. The main tools the city has to attract certain businesses is to offer incentives. And when we talk about some of those incentives, I think a lot of it comes from a lack of understanding too of how some of those incentives work from the public. So I kind of wanted to expand on that a little bit. Sorry, this one's long, Mark.
Go, Joe.
So offering incentives. So like when you see data centers and other larger businesses coming along, it's usually due to incentives. From my understanding, and I could be wrong, so don't necessarily hold me to this one, but I noticed like Atlanta gets a lot more of the filming industry now, and a lot of that has to do with tax incentives in Georgia that they did. Not saying we're on that level or trying to attract movies to be in St. Francis, but just saying those incentives is what attracts a lot of those businesses. The tools we have are typically abatement and TIF. So while you're not paying their taxes, we still get the taxes as if those lots were empty. So we're not losing anything, so to speak, but we're not gaining the new taxes. And I got another piece on some of that too, but like I said, those are the tools that we have are typically abatement and TIF, and it gets confusing because what I got from the last meeting is people seem to shout out that other people are paying that company's tax and we're subsidizing it. We're not actually paying their taxes for them, but we're not getting the benefit of the new taxes. So again, just to try to make that clear. Without growth, businesses can't profit. And I often hear that, well, we have nothing in town here, so why do businesses want to come here, or why do people want to move here? It's kind of a chicken or the egg type of situation. Do we need the population growth before the businesses come, or do the businesses come first to attract the people? Well, oftentimes if businesses don't feel they can make money here, they're not going to come here. So that's kind of what we're looking at. So I just want to throw that out there. If we stay stagnant, if we stay stagnant the way we are and have no growth because we don't want this or we don't want that or we don't want this type of business, then the cost continues to rise as inflation goes up and all that stuff. And then we don't have any new people to help lift that heavier burden of those costs. So the more people we get, the better. Again, that's a hear their, argument from people. We're kind of a tale of two cities where we have, rural and urban, they call it. It's not super urban, but we have the MUSA section with the municipal utility service area. So, just throwing that out there. My other little bit on TIF is kind of an explanation that I found kind of breaks it down. And I just want to throw that out there, and I'll email you this, Jen, so you don't have to listen to all this. But it says TIF doesn't divert existing taxpayer dollars or create new taxes. It captures and redirects only the incremental property tax revenue generated by the new development itself, which wouldn't exist without the project. In other words, if the but-for test is met, meaning the development would truly wouldn't occur without the TIF support due to high costs like blight, remediation, or infrastructure needs, excuse me, the public isn't losing out on funds it would have had anyway. Instead, it's enabling growth in underutilized areas that leads to larger overall tax base, more jobs, and increased economic activity after the TIF period ends. So how it works in practice is the property's pre-development tax value, the base, continues to fund schools, roads, and other public services as usual with no reduction. Only the additional taxes from the increased property value post-development are used to repay loans or bonds for project costs, often taken on by the developer, not the city, ensuring the risk stays private while the long-term benefits like revitalized neighborhoods or higher future revenues accrue to the community. Without TIF, blighted or stalled sites might remain unproductive indefinitely, yielding minimal taxes and no broader gains, whereas TIF jumpstarts investment that ultimately expands the pie for everyone, rather than handing out a quote-unquote sack of cash from current budgets. So that's kind of a basic explanation of how some of that is, and just want to put it out there. I just get the feeling, like I say, that residents were feeling that they were paying for somebody else, like they're paying for Vista or whatever that may be. And that's not how that works with the abatement. You just don't get the new revenue. That being said, I'm looking, I don't know how long I can stay tomorrow. My granddaughter has a play type thing, little thing going on at a church in Coon Rapids at 6. But I plan on being at Vista, so.
For the tree.
Yeah, for the. So that's what I have.
Thanks, Joe.
Thank you.
Amy?
Thanks for that explanation, Joe. I just have a couple things. Barb, I wanted to say thanks for coming and explaining all of that about the parks. One thing that when I was going to the parks, when my kids were little, is it's really great for the kids. Like you said, you explained very, very well. It's also really good for the moms that like you get to meet other moms that are, especially when your kids are like not in school yet. And I mean, I kind of missed it after my kids were like, you're not coming to the park with me, mom, And so that to me, I'm all for the parks. I think that we need to take care of them, which is why we have to spend money on them. So I just wanted to say I appreciate what you said. And Hunter, today I was thinking, why haven't I seen him lately? So I just wanted to say you don't have to say your address anymore when you come up to speak. You just say your name and that you live in St. Francis. We took that away for like, I don't know, privacy or whatever. So that was new since you were here. The only other thing I had was I went to the school board meeting last week and it was their version of truth and taxation. And there was about as many people there, Barb, you were there. There was about as many people there that were upset about the tax increases as came here. In fact, some of them were the same people. And because, for the school portion on my property, it went up 27%. So that was a lot. I mean, it's kind of a double whammy everywhere people go. So anyway, I did go to that. They did, even though all those people spoke, it did pass 2-5 to 2. How do you say it? There was 5 votes for it and 2 against. So it did go. And it was primarily because they needed to add or replace the HVAC. So anyway, so I did go and do that. And my only other question is, when do we go through and kind of give our idea of what we'd like to see happen next year? Is that in January? If any new things?
As far as committees.
I feel like there was a time where you asked us, come with your ideas, tell me what we should be working on for this year. Is that in January? Maybe I just dreamt that. I don't know.
No, Mayor and council, we could add something to the next work session and just have a conversation about that.
Okay.
I'm not sure what we have on the list. That
We haven't had a
needs-
work session lately.
No.
I love that. That's good.
But we definitely, usually we come with those kind of questions when it comes to the budget and the priorities there. But if
Okay.
there are projects outside of that, we definitely can just have a work session and talk through some things too.
Okay, well, I'll just say it quickly now. I would like us, maybe it's already in the works, which is why I'm asking. I would like us to redo our webpage. I find things are hard to find and like the boards and commissions. I'm sorry, Jenny, I think this is what you usually do. I find that I look there and they're not updated with the dates and the people and who's, and so, and maybe it's not easy to use, to make those changes, but I would like us to do something to make our webpage more friendly. Even if it could be simple things.
The Mayor and council, actually, we're underway on a new version. Right now, our website originally was created back in 2018. And as you know, technology is old the next day. So we're running on a very old platform. We're in the process of moving to a newer platform, which has more functions that allow us to update easier and put the information in there. Some of that is just purely the staff capacity to maintain the website. We don't have a dedicated communication staff. We don't have one staff that does it. It's literally every department has their fingers in there for different reasons. So some of that will come together as a collaboration as well. So the new website will make it a little bit easier to operate. And then we're having some intentional discussions about who is doing what and when. But we are underway with that and hopefully see something soon. It might not look a lot different. However, we also have to meet the federal ADA requirements in March of 2027. So we're working on our ADA, but there's AI components that allow easier search tools. So I think that'll be really helpful to just be able to dig out with keywords and have a different way of pulling some of the data you're looking for. So it should be better. We'll need a little bit of time to learn it and figure out how we're getting through it. But yeah, there's information that's outdated and some of that is just the capacity to get to it too.
See, we're already working on it. That's all I have.
I got a fun legal question to add on to that.
Sure.
Well, since we're running Feldman 2.0.
We are?
That was the beginning of his second term in 2018.
Yeah.
Can we do ads on there and generate revenue, or is that illegal? I would assume it'd probably be wrong, but I'm just thinking. Hey, if you get millions of dollars, click on that baby every day.
Like what kind of ads? Like,
I don't know, Pepsi,
businesses?
whatever, whoever wants to advertise.
Everyone was advertising.
Can you do that?
I'll have to take that one under advisement and come back to you.
You're here to
I'm not
retain her,
quite
so I
ready
thought
for
I'd
that
ask.
one, yeah.
Anything else, Amy?
People probably wouldn't like it.
No, thank you.
Sarah.
Watch this.
I'm just gonna- Amy, I'm gonna let you know
Great.
that, I have gone on other cities' web pages and
Me too.
they're all
They're all bad.
horrible.
I
mean,
know.
None is better than I mean,
I agree.
I've been on different ones for different reasons
Uh-huh.
and it doesn't seem to matter. It just seems to be, there's a lot of information on there and it's hard to pick it out, but I agree that it is frustrating when you're trying. And, you know, the longer you've been on council, people expect you to find things faster. Anyway,
No.
I was at the tree lighting this year. It was a great event. I enjoyed that greatly. I did check out the winter market at the strip mall, as we call it, by Open Box. It was not as well attended. They said there weren't as many people there this week and there weren't as many vendors, but that is still going on every Wednesday now through end of December, and they're gonna announce 2026 dates. So it's kind of a spin-off of the farmer's market. They felt that they enjoyed the farmer's market. So
Bring it
the
inside.
ladies decided that they keep going. So it's been kind of fun to do that. I am planning to go to tour of the trees at Vista Prairie. I'm also gonna pop into Santa at the fire department and Santa at the police department. I do want to give a couple shout outs. I do want to thank Barb for her continued involvement coming to our meetings. I remember sitting out there. If this means you're gonna run, yay. I'm kidding. But I want to thank you for your leadership on the Parks Department. I sit on there for the council and I appreciate your time and your effort that you put on there. And then I also just want to thank firefighter Evan. He's going to be missed. He did a lot. He did a lot for our community and he's going to be missed. So I just wanted to thank him very much for his service.
Thanks, Sarah. Kevin?
Well, and these guys have tough acts to follow here. I don't have much. I did the fire district meeting on the 2nd, December 2nd. We have a meeting tomorrow as well. We're also figuring out a way to, we are recording them for posterity's sake, as well as we will be televising them, I believe, at some point. We're plotting there rather quickly on that. So I'd also like to thank Barb for showing up. She's been in this community as long as I've been around here, which is well over 35 years. So we appreciate what you do. Also, if you get an opportunity, the chamber, St. Francis Chamber has still, Michelle and the vice president, they do a podcast. If you get on the chamber website, it's pretty good. And even if you put it on the background while you're doing whatever, I've listened to tidbits. My wife listens to it religiously. And then also is keeping up on the chamber calendar. But the podcast is, if you want to hear local tidbits and nuggets and news and maybe some over the fence gossip, yeah, the podcast it'll do it for you. So business related and otherwise. Let's see, that is all I really have. Thank you.
Thank you, Kevin.
Can I add something?
You bet.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
I meant to say, Paul, do you and your people get any sleep after all the snow?
Mayor and council, plenty. We're good.
Good, all right, because it just kept coming, so good job on that, so thank you.
What did I do here? Attended this tree lighting, a fantastic event, and I mean, there's lots of people to thank, but primarily thank the bridge for putting that on. So just super event, and I thought they did a nice job with it, so. Also attended an online smart salting class that the Minnesota puts out. And there's a few good nuggets from that thing, because it all goes down to our issue with the chloride. You know, it's no rocket scientist. The two main polluters with chloride are the road salt and the water softeners. But the one takeaway that I kind of took from it, and I kind of knew this, but the way they presented it, it kind of clicked in my head, is chloride is like a forever chemical. You put it down, it's not going away unless you remove it. You can dilute it, but it doesn't go away. So I think that's an important message that our residents need to understand. You put chloride down, it's a forever chemical unless you remove it. And as we know, removing it might mean an RO system or a desalination plant, which is, I don't even want to consider how expensive that would be. So anyway, so it was a good class. I just want to give a quick shout out. I mentioned it earlier, but if you haven't been in the hardware store, stop in there. The new owners, Danny and Cassie and their son Preston, they're just doing a fantastic job of slowly rehabbing it. They're going to stay open the whole time they rehab it. And once they get the hardware store done, then they're going to start thinking about what to do with the Rummer Inn. But they got some great ideas. They got great energy. And if you haven't been in there, like I said, go in there, because you'll be blown away by what they've got done already. Fireboard tomorrow. Unfortunately, it conflicts a little bit with the Vista Prairie tree thing, but I hope to hit the opening of the Vista Prairie, let's just say open house for their trees. And then there is a chamber meeting up here on Wednesday morning as well, that I encourage people to attend, because I have the chamber really, you want to get to the heart and soul of what's going on, that you'll get a lot of it from the chamber. And so last, I just got to say Merry Christmas to everybody. Happy holidays, Happy New Year. And anybody got anything else?
No, sir.
Seeing none, do I have a motion to adjourn?
Make that motion, Mr. Mayor.
Motion by Councilman Buellbauer. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Second by Councilman Fondis. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Pull the same sign. Meeting adjourned at 7:04 PM.